Right, this is my post soul connection with God as a messenger with another individual I did here yesterday on here, just going over a more in-depth explanation in addition to the short videos I had prior, just going from messages from God to suicides to inner darkness or demons on there to expelling to guardian angels to healing and so much more. And whether you want to say clairvoyant or messenger, intuitive, psychic, whatever it might want to be on here, I continue to have these sessions with real individuals, real souls of light, and I want to keep sharing my personal experiences with so many people that are out there and kind of my own little journal as well that I'm sharing with everyone too. So this is going to be a longer video on here, but as I always do, when I connect with other individuals, usually strangers or other people that just know of me, what I do, I'm just a vessel. I'm just here as a messenger of God, someone not afraid to act on God's behalf. I just have a certain gift or unique ability that is more tuned in, more so than most. Doesn't make me any more special or any better than anyone else out there. Just a certain gift or ability I have with God that I'm not afraid to use to help other people out that are out there. And so whenever I meet with people, they already kind of know who I am. We already have talks in advance, and typically I'll have about a 5 to 10 minute kind of talk with them very privately. And I'll always ask people, hey, do you want this to be just you and I? Do you care if your spouse or your partner, your mom, dad, friends, relatives, do you care if someone's around? And majority of the time, people don't want anyone in there. And I always usually recommend that just because of the personal, private nature of what always comes out of these connections is so private and so deep that I want the individual to be safe. I want the individual to not to be apprehensive. I want the individual to know that they're in a safe spot that no one else can hear what's out there. Because these sessions as well, the information is only between that person and myself. Whatever they choose to tell other people, it's totally on them. Otherwise, it can be very private. And when I have videos like this that I do, or even social media things, I always leave out lots of details. There's certain details I do not mention for the privacy of the individual, because my own personal belief with my soul connection and my soul contracts, there's just certain things I don't say, nor will I say, but I will kind of give a brief view of this. So now when we go into these sessions here, right, I always like to have, again, everything silent, all phones turned off. I always like to grab hands, right? I like to always grab hands, and I always tell the individual too, hey, throughout this process, if God guides me to put a hand somewhere on you, shoulder, chest, neck, forehead, whatever it might be, either I might ask you in the middle of doing it or I might slowly move my hand there. If at any point you don't want me to touch you, you can tell me that. You have the right to stop me. You can push me. You can shrug your body, whatever you want to do. But my hands will move throughout depending where I'm guided on if it does happen. So always give the power to that person as well, that they are in control of that. I always then start with the hand holding. Now, typically, it does take me about 3 to 6 minutes, depending, to kind of get into my zone, to use my breath work to really get in connection with God, get in connection with that soul, that person I'm doing it with as well. And I always ask that person for their permission out loud, if I have permission to connect with their soul, if I have permission to connect with their energy source. And I always get that verbal permission from that person as well. It's very important to me. And about 3 to 6 minutes into it, once my breathing has kind of gotten toned, once I'm in zone there, that is when I'll start having images come right to my head, very vivid images or very keywords that pertain to that individual. And there's never a certain pattern, a certain rhyme or reason. And by that I mean past, present, or future, someone who has departed, whatever it might be. It really to me is, it is what God knows that that individual needs to hear at that point in time based on that individual's situation. So for this individual here, first thing that came up was a past lover of this individual. Again, still alive. It's just a past relationship with this person on there. Whether it was a boyfriend or a girlfriend, does not matter. But that person came up, and I was able to see the hair color this person had and where this person usually was on there. But even though this breakup had occurred for this person, it still weighed very heavily on them within that person. We discussed that a little more as well. The next thing I pictured, and again, I changed some details, I pictured a shoe, a very particular shoe I kept seeing as well, right after this individual, so I wasn't sure how the shoe tied in with that person, or if the shoe in general is something else that maybe that person bought for this person, but another shoe came up there as well. And then it got very deep, very chilling on there. I got goosebumps everywhere, and we were getting kind of deeper and deeper into there. And that is really when we encounter what I would call the darkness within, right? That wickedness within, almost that inner demon that is within. And that inner demon in some people, this person comes out trying to stop me as someone who is of light, knowing that I'm trying to get rid of that darkness, get rid of that demon. And that demon will come out and really try to block me from kind of seeing or doing anything else on there, which is pretty normal in some situations. By myself, having God a light on my side, I never have any fear, and I confront that demon. And just for me, again, a lot of breathing, a lot of shaking goes on with myself here as well. And while I'm confronting this demon with God, I'll ask this individual too. And I'll ask them out loud, kind of in a roundabout way. I'll say, do you want this darkness or demon gone? Do you want this out of you? If you do, we have to do it together here. I need to hear it in your own words to get rid of this demon, to get rid of this darkness, that you no longer want this. And I'll let that individual in their own words say it 2 or 3 times, and then we'll say it together. And then I'll use some passages, with God, gives the goosebumps here as well, to get rid of the darkness and demon. And let me tell you, when that darkness finally does lift, I can feel it come out of that person, right? I can feel just the light airedness on there. And I don't have any fear about it ever coming out from me, because as I say, they can knock on me, they can never enter, because my armor and light with God is so strong, and no matter the darkness or the demon, it just knocks and it goes away. And so once we had confronted that, we got even deeper and deeper into this person. And then into this person, I can tell that at one point in life they tried to kill themselves. They tried to commit suicide, right? And it's as if I'm the observer in the room and I can see them trying to kill themselves. I can see the manner and how they try to kill themselves as well. I can see that they got very close to trying to kill themselves also. They just stopped at the last point from doing it. And that is what I can see as well, that they had a guardian angel, which I call it. And I won't say man or woman, someone who has passed away, but a voice came in just before they killed themselves and said, stop, don't do it, stop, don't do it, stop, don't do it. And this person had heard that individual and had stopped the act from killing themselves as well. Very, very deep on there. Sorry, we live in some of these things here. And once we got that down, we kind of went even deeper and went deeper. And there was a certain word this word was so strong of an emotion that every time this word hit on this individual, it hit over and over and over and over on here. And for this individual here, and again, I don't mind sharing this word, it's okay for me, but this individual had one word and one word only that had always just stuck so hard deep within their sound foundation of who they are, but it was worthless. And the word worthless to me, just big capital letters in this massive black ugly box deep within their soul, the core of who they are, had always been there. And I could just start seeing so many memories. I could see and feel the emotions of out this person's life of feeling worthless. And again, with this individual, I'm talking to them out loud, certain things we talk about while we're doing this, and just asking this individual, do you want this to go away? Should we transform the worthless into I am worthy? I am worthy, I am worthy. And take that black box away and make it a beautiful white box of light, proud to display with I am worthy. And with this individual and with God, we are able to get rid of that black box, make it a white, shining, proud, large white box that says, I am worthy, and do that with the individual as well. And let's get some goosebumps here while I'm doing this here, because I'm still seeing it all here. And why we did that, a lot came up as well. Then I saw a lot of things from this individual's mom or dad from when they were younger on there. A lot of pain with that individual on there. I won't say which it was, but they know who it is. And a very vivid memory of them, their young child, and typically ages 4 to 6, 4 to 6, 4 to 6 is what I kept seeing on there. And it was almost a memory that they had blocked out, or a memory that happened so severe that they had wanted to forget as well. And we had talked about that particular situation too. This individual also recently had a friend who had passed away at a young age, under the age of 30, we will say. And this individual under the age of 30, right, it was very heavy on this individual, very, very heavy. And it's very hard for a lot of people when they lose someone who was young, under age 30, under age 40, and get asked this quite often, why so young, why me? But this individual then had such a happy memory. It showed them with this person who's alive, their friend, always eating their favorite meal, their favorite meal. I could sit them, they're sitting by the couch by each other, they're eating this meal, and images come to me, right? It kind of looked like a burrito, a white shelled burrito. Wasn't a burger, wasn't a pizza, white shell burrito, very specific, but it's not always a burrito, but it's close enough that that person would know what it is. And it turns out it was flautas. It was always flautas they were eating. It looked kind of like the white burrito to me, but that's what they would always eat it. Kind of give me some other key memories as well to relate that was that person on there. And then of course, people always want to know, why did you go so early? Why was it your time? Now, I'm going to keep this detail very private. I told that individual why they had to depart so early, why that individual needed to leave so early. It's a private message for that individual there as well. But just the electrifying atmosphere and the energy and the raw emotions on there couldn't be explained. When we got done, I kind of looked at my timer there. It's about 45, 50 minutes kind of in total. I always like to do just a nice big hug is what I like to do. And we hug for several minutes on there. And it is very emotional for me. It takes a lot of energy out of myself on here. I'll talk to the individual afterwards, and then I always like to go drink almost a half gallon of water, and I stand outside in the sun or in the moonlight, depending day or night on there. I just pray and give thanks to God there as well. And then I come back with the individual and give them some highlights because it's so much information that you just can't deny the truths and the love that came out on there. I always kind of talk with them for a little bit, give them some highlights and bullet points, and I'll be here with them for the next several weeks to come. That if they want to message me, they want to talk to me in person, help them along on this journey. But this is just kind of how these sessions work, how it affects me. It does take energy out of me, right? It does make me kind of tired the night of, so I do go to bed a little early, a little lethargic on there, and then the next day get up like today on here and just kind of full of love and full of light, full of gratitude. But again, just a messenger on here. I'm just doing my part with God, helping out souls of light that are out there, awakening that truth, expelling any kind of darkness, wickedness, or evil might be in there, and just connecting with people. So I thank you all so much for listening here to me today. I'd love to hear your comments, hear your feedback, really open out on it. Again, I'm no better, I'm no worse, just a messenger of God, not afraid to do what I believe I'm called to do. Thank you so much.